Iron Maiden are better than Bob Dylan. As I was driving in today, that thought popped into my head. It just popped in. It popped in. I was driving along and thought, Iron Maiden is better than Bob Dylan. I was listening to Bob Dylan this morning when I got up, right? I keep trying. I put on Blonde, right? And I didn't like it very much. That famous one came on, She Breaks Just Like a Little Girl. You know that one? Oh my God. It sounds horrible, but also the lyrics. I don't understand those lyrics. It just seems like he's had some woman's done something bad, and he describes what she's like. You know, she's done all these things. She makes love like a woman. She does this like a woman. But she's obviously gone down the pan or sort of had a breakdown or something. And then he says she breaks like a little girl. Oh, I thought, well, I don't really understand why this is so unbelievably heavy. Because, of course, what people say to me is they go, Andy, the trouble with you is you like all your jazz rock and your prog, and you're listening to the music. And I understand that, Andy. I understand that you like the music, but you're not listening to the lyrics. And I thought, but I am listening to the lyrics, and I don't get the lyrics, and I don't know why they're so good. Right? Now, if we get outside the realm of prog and jazz rock, and jazz, right? There's other bands I absolutely love, especially a lot of rock bands, which I know have never been seen as being in the same sort of quality category as Bob Dylan, right? As time has gone on, the critical elites have had to grudgingly go, yeah, well, these bands are actually quite good. But I can remember in the 1980s when they were at their peak, these bands that I loved, the critics had no time for them. They just seemed like bad taste, silly working class people just who didn't have any sort of, sophistication in what they were doing in the realm of rock and roll. But a lot of these bands make some of my favourite albums, and these are the albums I go back. So this morning, after listening to Bob Dylan and trying to get my head around it, to try and do a serious video on Bob Dylan and have a look at Blonde on Blonde and do a dissection. And if I really want to appreciate it, I wouldn't come on here and say, I didn't like Blonde on Blonde, but I've had this revelation and now I do like it. I know why she breaks like a little girl. Oh my God, when the realisation hit me, I had a tear running down my cheek. I was so moved by it. And that offset the horrible, all that it offset, the twangy, horrible, tinny sound of the band in the background, in the hackneyed chord progressions going round and round, and the track's like nearly 5 minutes long, and it doesn't need to be 5 minutes long, all that just went because I realised why she broke like a little girl. But I didn't. That never happened. I thought, I don't really get... I understand the lyrics. I can follow it. I'm going, I don't see why this is so bloody good. Why is this good? Why is this good? It's just a song like any other song. Then I get in the car, and of course, I've got albums in there that I go back to over and over again. And the album, I've just pulled it out of the car. The album that I've got on in the car at the moment, which I'm enjoying immensely, even though I've heard it like 1,000 times, is this beauty. Iron Maiden, right? Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast. Now, as I've said, I'm a massive Iron Maiden Paul Di'Anno fan. But there's something about this album that I absolutely love. So this starts up in the car. Invaders comes on. And as soon as Invaders kicks in, I think it's that track that makes me love this album. And then you're off. Invaders is like a charge. It's a call to arms. They do it again on Run to the Hills. But in Invaders, instead of it being Native Americans, it's Vikings, I assume, right? So it starts to drive along, it's exciting, isn't it? And I'm there, when I was a kid, I bloody loved the Vikings with Kirk Douglas. Moana. You know that? Kirk Douglas? Moana. Was that her name? The girl, Janet Leigh? Morgana, that was it. Morgana. There we go. I was nearly there. Stop. That's my Kirk Douglas impersonation. Do you want to see it again? Right, I've brought my Kirk Douglas chin. So if I just lick this. Bloody hell, they said it would just go on. God, it cost me £5 off Amazon, this did. It's not working. Oh, this is rubbish. I think it's run out of stick. Let's see if I can get it on here. There we go. Morgana. Kirk Douglas, you see? I'm back now. Oh, I love that film. You know, Kirk Douglas jumping across the oars. I love the Vikings, right? And now if you imagine you watched that film and then you said, oh, I love that film. How about writing a heavy metal song that's about that film? That's what Invaders is. I love Invaders, okay? So what I'm going to do on this video is I thought musically it's way better, obviously. It's all that gallopy excitement, you know, and you could, as soon as it starts, you can picture blokes with horns coming out their head, striping, and they're doing all sorts of things, aren't they? You could just picture it. I'm there. Right, I'm not interested in some bloody girl Bob Dylan knows. I want to know about Vikings marauding. That's what I want. Okay? Iron Maiden, deliver it, and then they're going to kind of cover a whole bunch of other subject matters, much wider than anything Bob Dylan would do on one of his albums. You know, and look at the cover. Somebody bloody did a lot of airbrushing to do that cover. What's Blonde on Blonde? They couldn't even get the bloody photograph. It's like the worst photograph of Bob Dylan. They're not smiling. It's all out of focus. Oh, that'll do with the front cover. Just stick that on. Right, so here we go. Oh, look at all the stuff on here. You don't get that on a Bob Dylan album, do you? Nah, he's rubbish. Right, he's rubbish. Right, so I am going to analyse the lyrics and show you why the Iron Maiden, even when you look at it from the lyrical point of view, Iron Maiden is still better than Bob Dylan. These are better lyrics. There's no denying it. Now, here they are. So I've got them here. Right, now, if I was a proper YouTuber, I'd put these up on the screen, but I really can't be arsed with this. I just want to film it, stick it up, get on to the next video. I do hope you appreciate that, you know. This is real. This is what's going on here. It's real. So, Invaders. Now, this tune was written by Steve Harris, not Bruce Dickinson, okay? This is an important point to make. As you can see, I'm sporting a Black Sabbath t-shirt this morning. I think this is the first time this has ever appeared on here. Now, of course, Black Sabbath's incredible lyrics I've analysed in great detail on the channel. Go and check it out. You will enjoy that. Especially my analysis of The Wizard. I think it's one of the greatest moments here on this channel. I'm going to do a similar thing here with Iron Maiden now. Now, of course, their lyrics was not written by Ozzy. They were written by Geezer Butler. Right? These lyrics have been written by Steve Harris because he's the only writer. So he's not only, he's like an auteur in terms of what he's delivered here with this song, right? So let's start. First line. Longboats have been sighted. The evidence of war has begun. All right? So imagine that. Young Anglo-Saxon chap sat there, you know, you got one of them hoe things, there you are in the thing, you're just doing that. You don't want to do any marauding. You're like that. And then you look out to sea and you go, oh my God. Longboats. So you run back to your village like this as fast as you can. You get there and you go, longboats have been sighted. And then the rest of the village goes, they say, evidence of war. This is evidence of war. It is, isn't it? A longboat is an evidence of war. Brilliant stuff. Then it says, many Nordic fighting men, you could have just used the word Vikings there, their swords and shields all gleam in the sun. Well, I don't know whether that's the case, really, Steve, because I don't know whether that's the case. Because, I mean, if you look at a longboat, I suppose, I mean, it's going to be far away, isn't it? They haven't got binoculars at that time, so that doesn't really make sense. We will ignore that. I don't really know how they can see the swords and shields all gleam in the sun. And also, I've seen a Viking shield. It's not made out of metal. It's more of a wooden affair, isn't it? It's like a wooden circular affair. I mean, wood doesn't gleam, does it? I think he's confused them with Roman shields here. I think there's historical accuracy is not quite being followed by Steve Harris here. But we can ignore that. We can ignore that because the great wisdom in this we haven't got to yet. Just ignore that. So are you right? Call to arms, defend yourselves, get ready to stand and fight for your lives. So this is from the view of the sort of Anglo-Saxon, Celtic, English type of person, like me, really. You know, I'm sat there and I'm worried about sort of these marauding entities coming in. No, not illegal migrants, asylum seekers. I'm not saying that at all. Don't even think that. It's got nothing to do with that. That's not what I'm talking about this. Don't be so silly. You know, I'm sure Iron Maiden, being white middle-aged men, are totally up with all these boat people coming in. I'm sure they're behind it, 100%, aren't they? Like you lot. We all are, aren't we? We all don't. We're not gonna say anything against that on this channel, are we? No way. Invaders. Right, so then he says this: Judgment Day has come around, so be prepared. Don't run, stand your ground. Now, that don't make sense, does it? I mean, especially at that time, where you've sort of got the sort of dark ages of Christianity, Judgment Day was like Revelations, wasn't it? And then you can't stand your ground and fight that off. This has just been attacked by the Vikings. They're not coming to judge you, are they? The Vikings, when they arrive, will not be judging anything. They're not going to go over there and go, ooh, look at you. Look at you, your outfit's rubbish. You've just got like this sackcloth thing, baggy thing and a big lumpy hat on and that hoe. You look terrible. Look at us. We got bloody horns coming out of here. Shields gleaming, even though they're made out of wood. So, this first verse is a bit rubbish, really. But we could pass by that, I think. That can be passed by. Right? Then the chorus comes in. They're coming in from the sea. They've come, the enemy. That's not the magazine, by the way. The enemy wouldn't have liked this album when it came out. So it could be, I suppose. Beneath the blazing sun, the battle has to be won. I don't get this because now, I mean, where's this viewpoint coming from? There's no way the Anglo-Saxon bloke with the hoe is going to say, beneath the blazing sun, the battle has to be won. And the blazing sun, we're in England here. It's most likely would have been a light drizzle, spitting. It would have just been spitting. I can't believe blazing sun, can you? Nah. They're coming in from the sea. Well, that's bloody obvious, isn't it? Where else are they going to come from? They haven't got a tunnel down from bloody Norway up into England. None of this makes... Why would you even write these sentences down? But don't worry. The juice is coming. Beneath the blazing sun, the battle has to be won. And then the big chorus, and he goes, Invaders. And what's genius at this point is when it goes, Invaders, that bit when they do that, it modulates to a new key. Right? And this new key is like it's a new viewpoint, right? And so it's like God looking down and being objective, because up and down we've seen it from the viewpoint of the Anglo-Saxon Celtic types. Then we see it in this bit from, I suppose, the Viking types. Now, with the key change, this is the musical brilliance of Iron Maiden, but we're not on about the musical brilliance. You see, that's not the point. And then and this chorus is, Dylan would never have come up with this. They all go, Invaders. And then Bruce Dickinson goes, pillaging. Invaders. Looting. Now, this is what's really great about this album. Is because if you want to know what Invaders do, what they do in the choruses here is they list all the things that they do. One by one. Looting is definitely something the Vikings are going to do. As soon as they get there, they're gonna go marauding. We haven't had marauding yet. I'm waiting for marauding, what I'm really waiting for is plundering. But plundering's a hard one to get in. It's a difficult plundering. It's not a strong word. Those are the ones I want to see. Of course, the worst one, which makes the song exciting, you know what the worst one is that the Vikings are going to do. It ain't marauding or pillaging or looting, is it? What is it? Probably can't say it on their YouTube, but I will. Raping. That's what it is. Raping. That's what they're going to be doing, the Vikings. Raping. All the English women. Oh, no, the Vikings are coming. We don't like it. Oh, what are they going to do when they come here? They're going to be doing a bit of marauding. I don't mind that so much. There's a bit of plundering. It's not so bad. Anything else they might be doing? Have you heard the song by Iron Maiden? No, I haven't. Well, if you listen to that, what you'll find is there's a list. There's a list of all the things they can do. You just listen to that, make notes, and I'm going to tell you there's a song by Iron Maiden, letting you know. So pillaging. I actually don't know what pillaging is. I know it's running around doing something bad. What's pillaging? It's the same as, I know what looting is, because people do that now, don't they, when they have riots? The BLM riots on there out there. Invaders, looted. I got myself a pair of trainers. They didn't have trainers back then, did they? Anyway, shall we get back into the second verse? Set ablaze the campfires, alert the other men from inland. He has a way with words, doesn't he, Steve Harris? Warning must be given. There's not enough men for a stand. Because the people who are taking the brunt of it are on the coast, aren't they? They're foolish types. They're running in. You know, I don't know how they're going to get there. Maybe they get on like a donkey or something. They have donkeys in the Middle Ages, or the Dark Ages, or what? You know, I can't call them the Dark Ages anymore, can you? It has to be called the Middle Ages. Anyway, so they ride their donkey really fast inland, right? Men, alert! Inland men, you need to... the Vikings are coming. Well, your bloody problem, isn't it? You shouldn't have had your farm on the bloody coast. Yeah, but it's nice. We've got a nice view. Go on the beach. Yeah, I know you lot, you're on holiday, but there's a price to pay to be on holiday. We have to toil the land inland. We're inland men. We ain't going to bother. Oh, bloody hell, no. Come on, help. No, I ain't going to go there. Because they're, you know, according to Bruce Dickinson, they're pillaging and looting. I don't want to be anywhere around that. So they go back. After, you know, you would have thought the Vikings would be, especially if you could see the shine on their shields, they would have been there by now. There's no time to go inland and alert the other men. So this is a lie. You can't alert. I mean, Steve Harris, you cannot alert the other men. You just sat there going, oh my God, it's the Vikings. That's a load of nonsense. Warning must be given. There's not enough men for a stand. That doesn't even make sense. What warning's that? What's the warning? There's not enough men. Is that, I suppose it is, isn't it? There's not enough men for a stand. Yeah, well, that's probably actually about the best lyric we've had so far. The Vikings are too many, too powerful to take on our own. We must have reinforcements. We cannot fight this battle alone. So they're in a bit of a quandary. They need someone to help, don't they, at this point? They need the cavalry to arrive, but they're not going to arrive, are they? They're into a course again. They're coming over the hill. They come to attack. They're coming for the kill. There's no turning back. And then we get invaders fighting. Fighting, that's what they don't. It's not just looting and pillaging. They're also fighting, aren't they? Not with themselves, I assume. They're fighting with other people. That's just, you ain't going to maraud and loot here. Oh, we are. We're Vikings. Oh, they're fighting. There's a bit of fighting going on. And then, here we go, invaders marauding. And Bruce Dickinson delivers this. Because marauding is like looting and pillaging, you've got a goal. Marauding, you've not got a goal. That's just wanton destruction. That's just like, you know, that's when you start doing poos in people's houses and things like that. That's what marauding is, isn't it? Just kicking stuff over that you don't care. You see someone's pet dog, kick it up the bum, you know, push over the big pot full of baked beans or what they ever eat, like poppy potatoes or whatever it is, turnips. Kick that over. You're not going to eat it. You're not going to loot it. You know, I don't want your turnips. We're Vikings. We eat meat. That's your bloody problem, you Anglo-Saxons. You're eating too many turnips. We're eating bloody massive big beasts that we've caught. So, the British, we didn't have a chance against the Vikings. It's a good job they bloody came over, really, isn't it? Because if they hadn't, then we would be a rubbish lot. We wouldn't have won the war, and fascism wouldn't have won in Europe. So in the end, it was a good job they came over and spread their sort of genetic material throughout the land. So, fighting and marauding. Right, now, third verse. Iron Maiden are now going to describe the battle. Dylan doesn't describe bloody battles. It's all mundane stuff. Does he? He might do. He doesn't, does he? Iron Maiden do. Axes grind and maces clash as wounding fighters fall to the ground. Brilliant. Severed limbs and fatal woundings. I would have just gone for wounds there, but they didn't feel that was like wordy enough, you know, so they went for woundings. I mean, is that a word even, woundings? What's wrong with wounds? Woundings. There probably is. Steve Harris, you know, just because he's sort of some cockney working class geezer with long hair and Iron Maiden doesn't mean he doesn't know words that I mean, he's probably got a greater vocabulary. I've never written any songs as good as this, so who am I to criticise it? Woundings. What's the difference between wounds and woundings? Can we have an answer, please, down below? Bloody corpses lay all around. I assume that means bloody as in the non-swearing version. He's not just... I mean, an Englishman would say that with the swearing version. They would go something like, bloody corpses lay all around. What are all these bloody corpses doing? Well, they're just lying there being bloody. I'm not using it in that way. I'm using it in the swearing way, which actually comes from by Our Lady. By Our Lady, I think. The smell of death and burning flesh. I think that'll just be the smell of burning flesh. If you get, I mean, the smell of burning flesh is a smell. The smell of death is going to be covered by the burning flesh, and it could be said that the burning flesh smell is the smell of death. So I don't know what you got after those. The battle-weary fight to an end. The Saxons, oh, they're Saxons, you see, not Anglo-Saxon. I did get it right. Of course, you know what Iron Maiden are secretly doing here. The Saxons have been overpowered, victims of the mighty Norsemen. Of course, at this time, the new wave of British heavy metal bands would have been really preeminently Iron Maiden, followed up number 2 by Saxon. And so what you've got here is Steve Harris is just put a little bit of a dig in his knee. Dylan never does anything like that. He never had to go to Phil Ox or some other guy that was out there doing his thing, Tim Hardin. He never does something like that clever. That's a brilliant bit of wordplay, isn't it? The Saxons, he may have just said Saxon, have been overpowered by the mighty Iron Maiden. Right, so we're back. We're to the we still haven't had plundering or the R word, have we? We haven't had it. We want it. We're waiting for it now. You know, we've had pillaging, we've had looting, we've had fighting, marauding. Right now, what they do here is a very clever songwriting device. Is Steve Harris changes the lyrics of the last chorus, bringing it to a sort of fulmination, if you like. You better scatter and run. The battle's lost, not won. You better get away to fight another day. It's true. There's no point in carrying on fighting just to get killed. Run away and then go and fight another day. That's a bit like rain, rain, go away. Come again another day. It's a bit like that. Then invaders raping. And he says it like that. And you go, yes, finally the best one. Oh, I didn't mean it. I don't think it's the best thing to do. It's just in the list of all the things that they do, the Vikings. I've been waiting for it. And I thought if they don't deliver it, it's not going to be any good. Dylan doesn't set things up like this with his songs. He doesn't have that thing where you think, oh, they better say that. And then right at the end, right, after he's done the one that we've been waiting for, the R word, right? He then says plundering. Go and check it out because you can't understand what he says. It's literally like this. Invaders, raping, invaders, like that. He does it like that. You think, what did you just say, Bruce? What was that? Right, so there, I think I've explained to you why this band's so great. Right, you can see it's all nonsense. It doesn't quite work. But the things they're doing musically, you don't get Dylan doing stuff like this. Now, I thought I should put my complaints to Bob Dylan. This is what I thought. This is what I'm going to... This is going to be the climax of this. Bob Dylan's still alive. If you can see down here, I've got my rock and roll telephone here. Now, I was hoping he was going to ring me, but I was told by the authorities that know about these things, he's not going to ring me. But a little birdie has given me his number. And I've written it. Where is it? Birdie. Got it down here on my pad. So you're going to get me to see... I mean, youngsters, this is a telephone, right? Okay, just so if you don't know, this is actually a telephone. And the way you have to do a number, because you might know, all you old folks remember this. So I bet you, I wish I could have a go on Andy's phone. I haven't done that for ages. Right, so I've got the number. So say if you wanted the number 3, you put your finger in the one that says 3. It's also got DEF. Don't know why. Suppose you could have letters, you could have words. I never realised that when I was a kid, you know. Shall I try that? So it would be B. Oh my God, I've just realised something. I can phone up anybody with my rock and roll telephone just by spelling. I don't need that number because, see, B, 2, O, Where's O? O, B, 2. That's the phone number. Look, it's there. It wasn't there. I'm joking. Right, so let's do this. So I can do this now. See, what you do, you can put that under there. You got both hands free, you see, if you know what you're doing. So B, O, B, D, Y, L, A, N. Can you believe a grown man's doing this? It's tricky. Hello? Is that Bob Dylan? Who's this? This is Andy Edwards. Yeah, the YouTuber. Are you Bob Dylan? God, well, just say, I mean, you obviously are, because you sound like him, and you're not saying it. Anybody that wasn't Bob Dylan, if you said, are you Bob Dylan? And they would go, no, I'm not Bob Dylan. They wouldn't say, what's it to you? Why do you need to know? Think about it, mate. Oh, yes. You'd say you are Bob Dylan. You are, yeah. How are you doing, Bob? Bit grumpy today. I think that'll go well. Anyway, so do you watch the channel? Oh, that's nice to know. Yeah. Oh, I'm getting a lot of famous people watching. I wouldn't have thought you'd have watched it, because I do more of the jazz and the fusion stuff, you know. Well, you like that type of thing? Yeah. You'd play it if you could, couldn't you? Yeah, I knew that. I knew that. But you're never that good on the guitar, were you? Nah. You only got a few chords down. Yeah. Anyway, what I've done on this video is I have analysed the song by Iron Maiden off the album Number of the Beast. Do you know that album? It's bloody brilliant, isn't it? Yeah. What's your favourite? Yeah, well, what's your favourite tune on there, Bob? Invaders, yeah. I know, it's amazing. It's my favourite one. Everyone likes, like, Run to the Hills, Number of the Beast. Have you heard the one about the prostitute they do on there? Yeah, I know. It's a bit rude, that one is, isn't it? You don't expect it because... Yeah, you don't expect it, no, to come on that one, that sort of thing, yeah. Yeah, it's good. I like Invaders. Yeah, I know. I've just been saying, see, I've analysed it. And I'm saying, and I hope you don't get insulted by this, because obviously we were writing songs back in the 1960s when all the music was rubbish. I mean, Iron Maiden was writing it when the music had got good, so they could do songs about Vikings. Did you ever want to do a song about a Viking? Yeah. Well, why didn't you? You should do, mate. Yeah. Well, who cares now? You do what you want, you're Bob Dylan. So, what do you think to the lyrics? I mean, obviously you like them. Could you just tell me what you... Yeah, I know that, yeah. Yeah. I know it's not factually accurate. Nah, I know that's an issue. Yeah, I know that, Bob. You can't, I mean, yeah, they're writing from a perspective that they don't really know. They just use their imagination, but you were actually commenting on things that were applicable to you and the generation from which you came. And you were talking about subject matter that had never been mentioned before, and elevating songwriting to go beyond just talking about partying and then silly things like Vikings. You were elevated to actually deal with the sort of things that were relevant to the people at the time. I understand that, Bob, yeah. But it's rubbish, though, isn't it, when you do that? Yeah. I know, yeah. I like that bit too. You know, he's just said, hang on, mate, I'll just tell the audience. Yeah, they're here, yeah. They're going to be amazed that you're on the channel. Really. The guests that I'm getting on now, yeah. Anyway, just wait there. He said his favourite bit is all the way through the song. He sat there going, and it's exactly like us, you know. He said, when they're going to say the R word. That's what we're waiting for. When's it going to be said? Yeah, I know, I love it. Anyway, Bob, you watch the channel, Ed. Yeah. Oh, don't take it personally, mate. You don't, do you? You don't care, do you? Nah, I didn't think you would. Not like Van Morrison. He's a grumpy bugger, isn't he? Right, you think he's grumpy. Yeah, I know. He's not as good. No, he's not as good as you. You are a bloody genius, mate. You are a genius. Yeah, I think that, and I don't even like your stuff. Yeah. Now, you carry on doing what you're doing. But I suggest that on the next album you do something about Vikings, marauding. Do a cover of this. I'd love to hear that. All right, Bob, we love you ever so much. You know we do, don't we? We do love Bob. You're the man. Thanks for coming on the show. Not as grumpy as I thought. Yeah, you go back to bed, mate. Okay, see you then. Bloody hell, can't believe it. Got Bob Dylan on. This is great having the phone. Absolutely amazing. So, what's the conclusion on this? Well, musically, Iron Maiden are better than bloody Bob Dylan. That's obvious, right? Bob Dylan's lyrics might be more realistic and more sort of true to human nature and might express something that is profound about being alive in the latter part of the 20th century. But it's not as fun as the Iron Maiden lyrics, which are absolutely preposterous, do not have any actual logical internal workings, and only rests on the fact that Bruce Dickinson shouts randomly words that Vikings would do, setting up the thing and go, when are you going to say it, Bruce? He leaves it to the end. End of video, end of song. Brilliant video, I think. This was what you come here for, wasn't it? And if you do come here for this sort of stuff, then you are bound by the rules of civility now to put a like on this video, to subscribe, and then support me in doing stuff like this, because I got a bit puffed doing that. I got a headache because there was a lot of bloody animated discussion I had to do on this to make that entertaining. If it was entertaining, I don't know whether it was, but if it was, stick a like on it and all that type of stuff. Join all the clubs, become a member, Patreon, all that type of stuff. I get sick of saying that now. I don't think it actually makes any difference, you know. I got a sneaking suspicion that doing that on the YouTube video doesn't make any difference. If you do it near the beginning, I think it does. I don't think near the end does. That's just my thoughts. I think you get subscribed when you do something good. And people go, well, this bloke Andy, you know, I've never seen anybody analyse Iron Maiden lyrics like that in relation to Bob Dylan. I don't think anyone else is doing anything like that on YouTube. And it might be completely ridiculous and stupid, but it is unique. And for that very reason, for doing this great work of creating unique YouTube videos, you know, I mean, look, he's got a phone that you can phone up Bob Dylan on. Yeah, I'm going to phone somebody good on it now. Now I know how it works. I can phone up anybody I want. Who shall I phone up? I can phone anybody I want now. I know it works. It's got little letters on it. Look, I'll show you. Look, can you see that there? So all I've got to do is spell the name of the person I want. Who do I really want to speak to? Don't know now. Oh, it's got to be John McLaughlin, hasn't it? I'm doing. Why is that bloody thing with that? Oh, God. H. Oh, this is longer than Bob Dylan. N. C. L. A. U. G. H. L. Bloody hell. Where's I on this thing? Oh yeah, I. Yeah. Hello, can I speak to John McLaughlin? Who is it? It's Andy Edwards. Yeah, who's this? I didn't know he had a servant. Yeah, could you tell him Andy Edwards is on the phone? Okay. He's gone to tell John McLaughlin. I think it's his butler or something. He's gone to tell him. Come back. Yeah. What, he doesn't want to speak to me? Why? Because he hates me. I didn't think John McLaughlin hated anybody. What does he hate me for? Oh, having like a career doing YouTube off the back of his name. Well, it's not just him. Can't believe, that's what he said. He won't speak to me. Is that why he's never been on? Oh. Okay. No, there's nothing more I've got to say. Thanks for your help. Bye. believe